Hey everybody, welcome to Into the Dark, Riverside, Iowa Paranormal, live here on the Spirit Realm Network. I'm Mr. Bill.
I'm Drew.
I'm Kelly.
And we got Michelle and I almost called him
Michelle and Jake.
Michelle and Jake back there running master control tonight for us. We want to welcome everybody here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here with us on a lovely Saturday night. Tonight we've got a very special guest in-house tweeting over there. Go ahead and finish your tweet.
Thank you. Excuse me, guys.
We'll introduce in just a minute.
Wow.
While he's taking care of that.
Give a shout out to Canada.
Hey, what's up, Canada?
Hey, Canada. Hey, Canada.
Before we get started tonight, as always, we want to throw a very large shout out, a thank you to all the men and women serving around the world in the United States Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, National Guard, reservists. Thank you guys for everything you do each and every day to keep us free in what we do. From the several veterans here on the platform tonight with us, out to you guys, thank you. And also out to the veterans out there that serve their time. You guys, thank you very much for what you did and what you do to continue on the home front fight. We also want to say a thank you to the men and women, the husbands, the wives, the kids, the mother-in-laws, the father-in-laws, the moms and dads who are left behind from the soldiers. The families get left behind and they don't get looked at very much, but they go through it worse than most of the soldiers do. Thank you guys very much for everything you do to keep the home fires burning for each and every one of those soldiers so they can come home and be safe and know that their home front's taken care of. Thank you very much.
We'd also like to give a shout out and a thank you to first responders, police officers, firefighters, and their families. Thank you very much.
And we also like to give a shout out to all our Facebook families out there for watching us. And we thank you very, very much.
Remember, this show is just as much your show as it is ours. We want your interaction tonight. Michelle and Jake are going to be back there answering questions on Facebook. If they have a question that needs to be answered to the panel, they're going to let us know. They're pretty much good at letting us know when we have to shut up and answer a question.
We also have Ethan and Mikey joining in with us tonight.
Ethan and Mikey, what's going on? So
that's awesome.
Tonight, in-house, we've got from Ghost Crier, Mr. Aaron. The legend. We did an event with Aaron last night, which was awesome. Thank you very much for having us with you last night.
You know what? That's okay. This is just for you guys.
So, just so everyone knows, Aaron's not just a spiritual investigator. He's also a published author.
This is true.
So, I'm going to turn it over to Kelly.
Yes, he has published this book right here. It says Boo Hoo, a Ghost Crier Story. And I'll let you.
It's a children's book, isn't it?
Yes.
It is. It's something I penned in 2015 because I knew when I started getting more and more into the research, it's going to be hard to do a big boy book. Big boy book coming to 2020. But, and I just finished this at early 19, so this year. But yeah, it's about a little child spirit who finds identity. That's kind of the
awesome.
whole idea of it through not the best tactics of ghost hunting, but misrepresentation of spirit box communication, because that happens.
It's really cute. I read it, and it is really good.
So tonight there's a special for it. You can purchase a book for, how much is it?
$6,000.
Ah!
I mean 15. Sorry, 15.
$15, or if you do $20, he'll sign the book for you. If you would like to get a copy of the book, message Riverside, Iowa. Send us a private message on Riverside, Iowa Paranormal, and we'll get the information over to Aaron, and he'll get you taken care of.
Yep.
I'll take care of you guys.
So,
yeah.
Well, welcome, Aaron.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So we want to start off tonight, first of all, asking you, how did you get started in this?
Oh man, I had a fear of death, and that's really what started my interest. I was 8 years old though when that happened. Mind you, I started years later. But yeah, I had this weird extreme fear of death. So I remember about 15, 16 years old, I'd go to my peers, my teachers, instructors, parental units, anyone I could, ministers, and ask the question, do ghosts exist? It seemed possible, right? It seemed like maybe it's not all fantasy, but it sounds very fantasy-like too. They all gave me the same reasoning. They either about 50-50 said yes, or 50 said yes, 50% said no. Same reasoning, just because. It's folklore, one way or the other. And for me, and mind you, I'm 15, coming to 16 at this point. My teenager mindset, I'm thinking, that doesn't make sense. I mean, just because. These are some of them are adults that are just defaulting to magic. And I was so into the idea, and mind you, I was kind of pulling on strings and tugging on ideas on kind of what everything is anyways. So if you want something done, guys, what do?
Hey, Drew.
You pay Drew. And Drew has done an excellent job ever since then. The stuff
I haven't
he's
made
saying.
a penny from this yet. I'm not sure where this money's going, but hey, Drew is where this is at.
It's to an account. You'll get it when you die. So yeah, you have to do it yourself type thing. And that's when I decided to, I was 17 when I actually really committed to learning. I didn't think I'd be doing it 20 years later. I thought I'd figure it out real quick. So the first 2 years, I was 17, so I knew I wasn't an adult, and getting to a lot of these places is adult situations, and I understood that. And I wanted to take it serious. It wasn't like I wanted a thrill. That's not the point of me going out there. I legitimately want to know if I need to stay in my basement playing video games or go skydiving. I'm like, what's going on? Afterlife.
Skydiving and playing video
Oh my
games.
gosh.
Oh, that would be.
I think that video games like that safer.
Virtual reality. Bullshit.
No, glitching.
Question,
Yes.
to interrupt. They
Wow.
want to know if Aaron does any events or has any events that people can come to.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Anything coming up?
Yes. So much coming up. Who's on the West Coast? Anybody?
We got some thumbs up.
Okay. Well, in 2 weeks, it's the 21st of September. We'll be in California, Jackson County, at the Kennedy Mines. It was featured on Ghost Adventures. I believe last year it was dropped in there. We were reached out to by the owner, Heidi, who is actually flying us out there, and we're going to be keynotes at the event, which is super humbling, and really shows, what we're doing in the field is spreading from the Midwest and Iowa here all the way to the West Coast. I've never been to California, and never been to a mine either.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
Mine's are pretty good.
We get it all by ourselves on the day before, and we were able to shoot and actually get a video. It's fantastic.
What's my calendar look like?
Yeah.
Join.
Yeah.
Anything
We'll take
in the
dynamite.
Midwest
Oh my
area?
gosh.
You have
What's
me-
that?
me in the middle-
Anything coming up in the Midwest area for people to go to?
Yeah. October, of course, is coming up here soon, guys. And you think last October I was smashed, but this October is actually a lot more free. I'm in the middle of editing a TV show that I work with, Vidispace, Vidi.space, which is fantastic, breaking frequencies. We're on high rating on Amazon Prime. The next episode is pretty cool. It's Bliss Axmer. Super cool stuff happened there. Anywho, that's going to take a lot of my focus in October. However, there is a pretty awesome event coming up. It's a little different, though, than your traditional event. It is positioned like a haunted house. So it's going to be on the 11th and 12th of October at an old YMCA building. It's fantastic. And it's going to allow someone to go through. It's pretty much a 45-minute run through of the building, that you're actually walking through an actual haunted house and coming in contact with different tactics from folks in the paranormal field, just for learning as well as for experiencing something that's more than jump scares, to say the least.
Real.
Now, on this event you have coming up in October, I know a lot of our viewers out there and a lot of people question the whole, oh my God, I got to pay $200 to go through. What's the cost going to be for the one in October?
$15, guys.
$15.
Right, there you go.
Listen,
$15.
$15. Now, as soon as we have everything and we get it up, you'll see it on our Facebook page. We're going to promote the hell out of it for you.
Yeah.
$15. You can drive over there, Illinois, go through the building.
You can meet us.
Yeah.
I'm pulling these guys. I'm gonna give them more stuff. So.
Yeah, surprise!
Yeah.
Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. As I understand it, Riverside, Iowa Paranormal will be there helping out with it. So
Yeah.
it'll be awesome. It's a chance to go through, and the YMCA he's talking about is where we were all at last night. And some weird things happened there.
Yeah.
Drew.
We won't go into that.
Nope.
What are you talking about?
If they come to the
What
event,
weird things?
Drew will explain what happened.
Yeah, you have to come to the event.
I
and
know,
Drew will
Drew,
be joined.
Drew.
We'll put Drew in the same room. He can
Oh
talk
my
to you.
gosh! You can
Oh,
That's an interesting.
I don't
tactic.
know there. That's
We'll talk about it.
a
Nice.
second time.
Don't worry.
That's
Trust
a
me.
bit extreme.
You want this? Never done before like this.
So again, in October, over there in Illinois, the YMCA. Come on, it's 50, 10,
Yeah,
10,
and
15 bucks.
And the cool
15
thing
bucks.
is,
It's gonna be awesome.
all the proceeds are going to the owner of the establishment, because a lot of these establishments, I mean, it definitely houses a normal 9 to 5, which is fantastic. But there's upkeep to a lot of these buildings, these old buildings. Example: this building, the main floor is pretty much the business. There's 3 other huge floors, just kind of eating up the costs of heating and cooling and electric and just other stuff. And it's a very cool structure. I think it's a great research facility for paranormal investigators. So it gives $15 not only lets you, we get to be introduced to you, which is fantastic. It also gives you an experience for $15 to see a brand new place that you probably never been into. Your mind will be blown, because it was a gem when I first jumped in there.
It was a quite yeah.
I was surprised. I optimistically, surprised. I go, I say some weird things sometimes, and I don't really expect the whole show, but this place,
To get an answer or
yeah,
anything.
yeah, it's pretty awesome, guys. So.
Now, some of the stuff we tried last night. We tried an experiment, which I would not
Explosive.
recommend.
Nope.
It had the potential to be harmful. Well, we took every safety precaution I do believe that we could have possibly taken last
I
night.
agree.
Which is one of the things that we always try to tell you. You can try anything, you can do anything you want, but safety's got to be your number one concern. You've got to be safe on everything that we do.
Definitely.
One of our biggest ones is never go hunt alone.
Exactly.
And,
Big one.
And you have other team members on your team.
I do, and I do the same thing. As much as I really have one other core member, there's some other members that are larger on the team, but some don't go out as frequently than Nick Simons and myself. So there's really 2 of us that are kind of the face of the GC boys, as the internet has coined us. But yeah, if he's not there for an investigation, I have someone else. And same thing with him. We are probably in an investigation. One of us go alone in a room, but we're always airshot away.
Yeah.
And we're aware of the area. So many people jump into places really not knowing the layout. And I get not wanting historical data and so forth. And I'm fine with that, because I'm the same way. But when it's talking about area and some sketchy places, some surprise moments you don't want in the dark.
Especially when there's an open elevator shaft, or there's an open
Yes.
bad floors, or
Yeah, because I was going up some stairs last night, and I didn't realize that there was no wall right there, and there was a little indentation, and I about fell in it.
And it's funny, because you don't think about this. A lot of people jumping in there, even with urban exploring, getting so popular. And that's almost become more dangerous, because there's a lot of things not right with that. But I just
Amen to that.
Be kind with it. In a couple years ago, I think maybe 2017 or so, there was a couple, boyfriend and girlfriend. They were upper 20s, maybe lower 30s. They were in France, and they were ghost hunting at a
I
very
remember this.
very haunted location. And they died tragically. They fell to their death in the elevator shaft. They didn't see it. They were walking in the dark. just as we would normally do in the dark.
Mhm.
But they didn't see where their footing was. They didn't review the location.
Wow.
They couldn't have. I that would have been a red flag. That would have been taped off. There would have been something, right?
Something there to stop it.
But it's so hard. People get so stuck with the fantasy of wanting to find
Yeah.
that
They do.
thing. That thing's out there, guys. Honestly, I feel it's everywhere if you have the right conduction style and the right group and the rapport and so forth, whatever you want to call it. But safety is.
Yeah, it's kind of
Safety, that's the number one priority, yeah.
So one of the other things that I'm not going to go into the experiment because I really don't know the whole safety side of it at this stage.
Probably smart right now. Until we get it,
until we narrow this down a little bit. One of the other things is, and you and I were talking about this quite a lot. There's some things that I'm gonna kind of transition over into some equipment stuff, because everybody talks about equipment. You have people that there's a lot of people that use dowsing rods. There's a lot of people that use EMF detectors. A lot of people that use crystals. They use stones, lights, cameras. They get so comfortable with it. Recorders, apps that are questionable. They get so drawn into them, so brought into them,
Right.
that how much stuff are they actually missing? You do miss a lot there, and again, that takes us back to review all your footage. You have to review everything over and over and over and over and over and over again. But you and I were talking about how it seems like there's an area that a lot of people don't go into. We started doing it. We started doing it when the team first started. I'm very big on safety, and it's one of us it's a portable carbon monoxide detector.
Yeah.
If you go into old buildings and stuff, you don't know what's in that building, gas wise, any fumes or anything. Having just that little thing on your hip where it sets off an alarm, an audible sound where everybody goes, "What's that?" and you look down, this thing's blinking on you. Get out of there.
Yeah.
Well, we have Colette McCardle. She says that she's a paranormal investigator, and I've gone alone in places and don't have any problem. Says that she's a member of a team, not buildings that are falling down, only in solid buildings.
Colette is actually from Liverpool, so she's also doing a shout out.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hi,
All
Colette.
right.
Hey, Colette.
What's happening?
I gotta jump into at least the start of it. Colette, and awesome for not having any problem yet, but it's not necessarily, it's what's in the future with these as well.
Right,
And there is a energy, even more of a psych. I don't know the best way to put it, but there's that energy impact that can happen alone as well. But
also too, though, if you're in a building where it has stairs, even though you're using a flashlight, you still need somebody, because what happens if you trip and you fall down the stairs or something like that? There's not going to be anybody there to help.
And I can say I haven't been alone in investigating.
Right.
So I guess I should put that out there. I'm not, but my normal standard, my normal procedure is to have someone there for safety.
Yeah.
But the system is always wise.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is good practice.
So I'm going to pose a question to you, Aaron. What's the worst piece of equipment? Now, this is your personal opinion. So this isn't it. This is
not opinion. This is fact.
What's the worst piece of equipment that you have seen or tried and just refused to use it?
The Ghost Arc.
The
The hell is
what?
a ghost arc?
Yeah, that's what everyone else was saying, right? It was like your jack of all trades, like hunting weapon. It had everything. It had EMF detector, ghost sound box, it had EVP recorder, it had spirit box. I mean, just had everything. Temperature gauge, right?
All
Everything.
in one.
That's what I thought. I'm thinking, I don't need to carry a bunch of stuff. I just have one funny little thing. It lights up when it hits a spike. I was in Farrar. And the first time, I was there with everyone. Everyone has, their typical tools, and they work just fine. Here I am with this new thing. Everyone's kind of looking at me. I'm kind of the new guy, noisy anyways. And then all of a sudden, like, they're doing their thing. I think Elizabeth Saint was in the corner being all cool, and everyone's watching UFC. All of a sudden, my thing goes, I was like, what's going on? Everyone looks at me like, oh, you caught something. I'm like, I think I caught anything. and I'm just like, it's because there's no, it's everywhere. It's just not. I'm like, okay, well, it goes away. Well, and I'm looking at the temperature gauge, and it's like 90. It's going past 90. Why is it that hot in here? So I'm like, something's weird with this machine. And I went to record with the spirit box because I thought I got a good capture, but the thing only recorded like 5 seconds and stopped. I mean, that could be a mechanical error. I don't know. Buttons started falling off. So this was all
wow.
being a wonderful machine. All of a sudden, I took out my K2 meter. You know, of course, you had that in your pocket for backup. So I go, it was blowing up again. Everyone's looking at me. It's embarrassing, mind you. So, I mean, this thing's like bright, and I'm just lit up like a clown. So I take my other meter. It was producing its own EMF field. It literally was about to
It had
explode.
so much in
It
it.
was about to explode.
Oh
because
my God.
because there was reports, as I read them afterwards. Mind you, I shut it off. I was stupid. I never used the sense. Reports afterwards, same behaviors, but people kept using them and they exploded. They set us up. They set on fire.
Wow.
I don't think
Oh
quite
my
dramatic as explosion, but they did. They set up on fire, burned, and done. I still have mine, and I bring mine with me to the events and be like, the stupidest instrument ever. $350.
I have
Holy
someone
crap.
named Lucky Kimba is trying to say hello.
What's up, Lucky?
Hello.
I'm not sure, but yeah, she's sending a hello to everybody.
Hello, hello.
Thank you.
So that's your worst.
Beat
Now-
that one. No, just kidding.
What is the best piece of equipment you like to use?
My body.
Well, it's the truth.
That's the
Yeah.
truth.
It's the truth.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, we've
you-
always said on here the best piece of equipment
Yeah,
you're born
I
with.
agree. And I was humorous a little bit, but yeah. But if we're talking more, you know, I'm sure people want to hear something else. Of course, we spoke about this. We're using a lot of our own devices, admittedly. EVP is fantastic. There's just a lot of overhead with it when you catch with the digital. Mind you, when I first started, it was a little not as consistent as it now. So I mean, I guess I got that going. But it is still a lot of upkeep, a lot of focus, and a lot of time. I like it. I like those equipment pieces. But I gotta say, my favorite piece, and I know it's not gonna be my favorite piece tomorrow, but right now I really like a specific application that I use called the necrophonic.
Mm-hmm.
And there's moments it hits really, really well. It's $10. You get it on your cell phone. I thought those apps were junk, and that's why I got the app. And when I found out after thousands of hours in post and a lot of on-site work, and a lot of things that validated, and they don't use real words; it uses phoneme sounds, part words. So I enjoy that aspect of it too. It wakes the location our way. I found out, at least for our conduction style, we can move things quicker instead of.
It did last night because
Yeah.
it was being used last night, and it said my name, it said Michelle's name, and it was just saying out names. And the more that it said, the more of the spirits or entities were coming towards where we were at.
It was cool, and I like to catch like multiple syllable words because of course pareidolia is huge in this film. I mean, the man in the moon is the biggest example of pareidolia. You look up and you see a man, it's not really there, or the face, because humans like to associate with faces and smoke and so forth. So our visual and our audio, one syllable words are easy to kind of pull onto. So I do like multiple syllable words. That's why I kind of changed to Andrew when we were asking for your name.
Yep.
It wasn't because I love Drew, but I wanted something more multiple syllable to catch that. Sometimes my name, though Aaron is 2 syllables, sometimes it runs off and it's hard. And Aaron, and it's like, oh, did you say my name?
Yeah.
Did it fall? Is it
Yeah.
okay? What happened over here?
Poof, oh gosh, that's why I add my last name.
It had its own arc and it exploded.
Oh my gosh, it's repeating. Oh, it's a nightmare.
What goes around comes out.
Oh man, so yeah, so I think right now that communication tool, because it seems like the gateway to every other tool cooperating, and the
Now, I don't know how you feel about it because I know you're.
I don't like it.
Well, okay. Well, and back to the show. And here's commercial.
We actually have our sponsors on saying a big shout out, so if you guys can talk about our sponsors real
Not a
quick.
problem.
Yep.
We're going to throw a shout out to our sponsors for the show. We've got to pay some bills here. The McIntyre Villa in Atchison, Kansas.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I had those
Beautiful.
folks actually recently, I believe.
Oh,
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Yes,
Jeff. Oh,
yes, they're at the
that- if you get a chance to go to
Paragon?
yeah, the Paragon, the
Yeah.
KC here.
if you get a chance to go to McIntyre Villa or you want to see a location,
Oh my God.
but I'm going to warn everybody that's out there. Everybody seems to want to go to a place that's old, it's dirty, it's run down, there's no electricity. Why?
Working bathrooms.
We get working
Let's
bathrooms.
be honest,
They have
that's-
working bathrooms in that building.
Oh, yeah.
I've done
Cannot go wrong
communication in the bathroom before. I took a whole group there and led us there. It's like, go right. It's like, that's the bathroom. All right.
Oh, we have an EVP. We'll play for you later.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. No, just kidding. McIntyre Villa in Atchison, Kansas. Check them out on the Facebook. They're going to put the Facebook and the links up there. We also here on the Spirit Realm Network, there's a live static cam recording 24/7 there. There's like going to be. I'll have Michelle and Jake back there. I almost called him Drake. Was going to throw
That's
the
kinda
link
cool.
up there. What's up, Michelle?
I was just waiting because you said my name.
There's a problem.
They're waving. It's like, wait, what?
Check out the McIntyre Villa is a beautiful home that has been restored. You can sit and sleep on the beds.
Yep.
You can
Yes,
sit
you can.
on the furniture.
Yes, you can.
You can touch the furniture. It's
But
not
you
like
can't
something.
move it, but
Yeah,
yeah.
don't want to move too much of the furniture around. It's a beautiful home. Jeff and Stephanie are awesome to work with.
The maid service is wonderful at nighttime. Spooky.
I'll challenge anybody if you go there to go to the basement, go to the back room past the furnace room, and do EVP sessions back there. Try anything back there. And then when you're done there, go back to the steps. Don't go up the steps. Past the steps, go past the laundry room and go in that back room
Yeah.
and try some things in that back room. I'm not going to
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you what happened.
Make you a map.
Actually, no, you know what? If you want to know what happened, we were live there 3 weeks ago?
Yes.
3 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
I think about 3 weeks, yeah.
Check out our video from there. See what happened. We did a lot of live. We did 4 or
Yeah.
5 live sessions from there. We did the Gonsfield experiment there and had some
We did.
amazing things happen.
We did it
there.
in three different areas.
That's the first time that I think that we've had that large of a connection on. We do people back to back on the
Yeah.
Gonsfield
Yeah.
experiment, and had a reaction with the first lady, when Jamie. She's on our team. Something happened to her. We had to pull her out.
Mhm.
And Melissa didn't know we pulled her out because she had the white noise playing in her ears, eyes are covered, light in her face. And she kept talking about what was going on, what she was seeing with a bunch of water and things being overwhelmed by almost like drowning in water. And when we brought Jamie back in, she explained that she has one major fear because she almost drowned and it had overcome her. And that's why she is seeing it happen.
It did.
But Melissa was behind her and felt the same thing on the opposite end.
So do you think that might have been kind of like a collective consciousness that moment?
I would honestly believe, yeah.
Yeah.
And that they're together all the time.
And
They're
neither-
joined at the hip.
And Melissa didn't know about
Yeah,
this.
Melissa,
Right.
she couldn't hear anything that happened to Jamie.
Well,
course,
she didn't
yeah.
even know that
Yeah.
she was
Oh, yeah.
afraid of that she
So
almost
to
drowned.
watch that connection happen there, and then check out the rest. I won't say
That's
anymore.
cool.
Check out the rest of those connections.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, Spoiler! But to
was
watch it, there's a lot of emotion that happened that night there. But McIntyre Villa, Atchison, Kansas. I'm not going to say their Facebook thing because I can't get it right
1889 McIntyre Villa
on Facebook.
on Facebook.
I always screw it up. I don't know why. There's numbers and words. I might not have heard there.
I get it.
Public shul.
1889 was the year that it was built,
Okay.
and then you just put McIntyre Villa after it.
What she said.
On Facebook.
On
Facebook.
Facebook. So, but they put the links up there. Go out there and check them guys out. They're awesome.
Yes, they are.
So,
Because of Zoom. 1982.
I lost train of thought completely there for a minute.
So,
And we have derailed.
turn around.
Got a question.
Yes, thank you.
This actually comes, well, I'm not going to say who it comes from, but they wanted to ask Aaron, did you ever have an experience like Drew had at the place we were together? And if you did you also enjoy it?
So this is not a rated show.
And this is
Drew.
a question for Aaron.
Thank you.
It's for Aaron, not for you.
Answer away.
Thank
sir.
you.
Answer away.
I never did that experiment before. I gotta say, I had a different sensation, more in my feet. You know, like boots were pulled off. Not my dancing feet, but I do gotta add. I know I shared with you guys. For those who are wondering, still, I don't even know how to say this with my face going red.
I know, right?
Sometimes spirits need loving too. And by the way, Zach Bagans is like trying. That's a curse word, didn't I? Believe that. No, trying to. I guess he's trying to document this type of action to be official or something. I don't know. I think it's something he's been trying to roll for a while. But anywho, I was doing a live stream. There was many viewers watching, and not at the time, but later we found out that there was potential or very most likely there's prostitution that happened in said cellar or basement area. And when I was doing the closing of the show with 14,000 plus people watching, I think it going like 20 something. So their eyes are on me, and I'm trying to close up. Also, I keep looking down at my crotch roll area. That's the scientific name.
Crotch roll?
Crotch roll. It's also the prehistoric name.
That's how I nickname it too.
Rex. You're good. Yeah, I kept looking down because I got this sensation, and it was almost embarrassing to see me kind of shuffle back and forth. And Nick, my cohort, takes over. And I'm not bringing attention to it because it's like, this is weird. Do I really like ghost hunting? Right? I do, but I don't know. At that point, it just seemed a little unnatural.
Well,
So that was probably close.
Supernatural.
Oh, my wayward son.
So you could. We've talked about a lot of locations. We've all been to a bunch of locations. We love doing it. You never know what's going to happen.
You don't.
There's
No, you don't.
the part that drives me nuts is you have everybody saying that you have to do this and you can't do this, and you have to do this way and you can't do it this way. You have to do it and you can't do it. This piece of equipment will never work because it was made for this. The only limitation I feel on any piece of equipment, whether we build our own equipment, we buy a piece of equipment, we test it, it hopefully doesn't explode in our hands, it doesn't fall apart, but we're our own limitation, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. And a lot of people, when thinking about the devices, they forget about the biggest element is where are we detecting these entities, this energy? It's literally in the quantum field, whether you want to admit it or not. That's where those particles, that's where the subatomic particles are connecting and everywhere. And unfortunately, I feel it's more in that quantum mechanics side, which is that incalculable and predictable zone. But again, that's the bending of waves of particles super fast around devices that we are creating that suck in waves that go around and dance around. Even dowsing rods illustrate or function off of waves. So with that in mind, it's funny when someone says dowsing rods work, but digital recorder or spirit box doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? I mean, what did you break down? You just saying that because you've never had any luck with that? I know I've used dowsing rods that I remember once, and it was today. Lisa actually let me use some of her dowsing rods. I've never used them before. I've known potential value with them, and I imagine not say I didn't have buy-in with them. I mean, they were fine, but I didn't see value in really using them. And I saw her, and I'm looking at her hands straight as can be, and I mean. It's going intelligently, and I'm racking my head. And this is daytime. This is just before here a few hours, and so she hands them to me. I'm like, okay, I can control this. So here I'm skeptic as can be, and I wasn't doing anything for a while. Then I kind of positioned myself back, and then all of a sudden, move towards Lisa, and it just starts doing these things that I feel shouldn't do, and I don't think my hands have the muscle memory to go in the contraption as the handle to manipulate said bar. It was fascinating, and admittedly, I was that was exciting for me because there seems to be another layer. And again, I've always, it's not a huge shock because I never disagreed with it. I just didn't put enough time in to get the buy-in, and I think that's what the issue is. A lot of people don't put enough time in; they just want to disregard.
I think that's one of the things that is such a drawback on certain things, and so many people try this field, I guess the easiest way to say it, and they get so frustrated because it didn't work. I didn't get. People want that now.
They want it now.
I want years for something to happen.
Yeah. How many times have you done something in a location where you don't get a thing?
Early on, it was a crap shot. I nothing probably. Honestly, the first 5 years, Plus, I would go to places, little things that were potential, but if I was in there with a skeptic or someone who was a professional and said so-and-so thing, they could probably have debunked it one way or the other. And there was a moment of a camera. I caught a ghost on a picture. Well, I went there with another camera, and it was a light that reflected off of the wall just fine, the attention. And there's a lot of things, pareidolia it goes back to. Now, actually, we've been pretty good with our conduction rate, at least with the audible. And we almost, it comes almost too easy for us. And I hate to say it like that, because a lot of people have to struggle with the devices. But mind you, we're in, and with thousands of hours. Plus that we're rolling and we're building the rapport. And whenever we turn it on, I mean, it might take 15, 20 minutes, but we start getting stuff and we can come back with something multiple syllable, intelligent that we can have a conversation about. Now, the meters and all the other anomalies and so forth, those are the more of the things that are more rare. And
Yes.
really, I
Oh,
get more
definitely. I
excited
agree.
about. The audio is fun, it's storing, it drives, but yeah.
I mean,
you don't get those gold nuggets.
Yes, Michelle.
I just want to give you guys a shout out. Ocean Springs, Mississippi says hi. They're
Oh,
sharing the link and everything.
Thank you
we
very
get a
much.
shout out.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you guys very much. One of the pieces that, when we talked about it, people want that satisfaction now. My lights didn't go off. Why? A lot of times, and this is the way I'm feeling,
Yeah, right.
whether it's audible or visual or physical.
He's thinking about
I
last
know why
night
you're looking at me.
whether it's anything like that people are not getting, do you think that sometimes it could be people are trying too hard?
Yeah, because they're not looking at it. And good point. And I'm going to say yes right now for the talking purpose, just because there's a lot of layers when you're doing this. I can't speak on why everyone else started this, right? I can only speak on myself, fear of death. I want to know, I want to actually get truth, not book truth, not societal truth. I want to get out there and really dig in. Is this real? Is this not? If we fade out of our vessel, does it drop? Gosh, I came to some fascinating, I guess, connections about the vessel and how everything works, which was pretty fantastic. But yeah, I think a lot of people that go in, not necessarily want it maybe too much, but they go in for the fear factor or the scare jumps. So it's kind of like they want it, but they're holding back. And mind you, we're made up the same energy ultimately. I mean, we've got the vessel just holding in that energy that's creating and building, kind of what we can do. So we've had times that the box was able to say our question before we asked it, reading our thoughts, even admitting, telling us a secret, we can hear your thinking. So we've got this communication. Mm-hmm. So if you're sitting there like a jackass or whatever the case may be, they know your intent. I mean, they're not gonna.
One of the things when we do larger events, and one of the things we've always told people, we'll go outside and before they open the doors and talk with people that are standing outside. One of the things I've always kind of told people is no matter what you're expecting, when you walk through these doors, leave it here. Leave anything. I'm going to catch a ghost. I'm going to take my crystals and catch a ghost, a spirit, and take it home with me. No, you're not. Number one. Don't go in expecting that you're going to see something. It's either going to happen or it's not going to happen, because that's it. Stay in between and leave all your expectations at the door.
And I tell you what, when it hits, oh, how exciting! Like it's a different feeling.
Yeah.
And just because it's not hitting, so if you're in with a group of like 10 or 12 people, a lot of times it's more exciting to go, it's happening to him, and you're just visually watching it. Then you're going, holy crap, I was with them when this happened and this happened, and the person that's happening to is over going, I don't want to pray no more.
But the thing is ghosts cannot, or spirits, whatever you want to call them, they cannot come on demand.
I love people going, stop, wait, I need to change camera angles. I'm sorry, we don't have to stop this. What the heck?
We can't do that, once they're there, they do something and they leave.
Somebody goes, you guys set stuff up. I have never been to.
Oh my gosh.
We've been to several locations, and I've said this over and over. We've been to locations where something has been set up.
That's
We walk through every time we go to a location, like when we met you, we went through the daylight, we walk through, we look at things. I'm telling you, I'm not afraid to pull out the pocket knife if I see some fishing line going, what happens if you pull on this? Oh, look, that door opens. Not anymore, it doesn't, because I'm.
dead body hangs out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Well, I hate
Material.
we either want something to happen naturally because it's supposed to happen,
Mhm.
or nothing to happen. I don't want that in between where somebody's going to set something up. And I guarantee, I just with what we've worked with, I know you're the same way. It's got to be
Yeah.
because you have to fulfill.
It's so important,
Yeah.
I think too, right? Like, it's not about me being famous and being a big, paranormal author, TV person, whatever the case may be. I could honestly, that's on the side of the research at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And do your research. That's
Oh,
that's the
yes.
other thing. We like to do on our group, like
Dance off.
two or three of us,
Stands off.
always, but only in a Speedo.
Oh,
no.
Patreon.
No. I won't say what I was going to say.
Thank you.
You're welcome. One of the things we like to do is sometimes if we've got like a group of 4 or 5 of us are going, only 2 people are going to look into the history.
Mhm.
Not let anybody else know. So that way you can
We
go
have
there.
one person. Well, Nick does. Nick actually kind of does,
But then you get there and somebody's going, and usually it's either Michelle or Kelly or Jake that's kind of, this seems like this has happened and that's, and we're looking at the history going, damn.
Yeah.
And going, okay, well, we didn't tell them anything. Yeah, it's an
awesome.
amazing feeling. Or,
We got 2 questions.
yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
No.
One question was, and it's for Aaron, when you guys were talking about spirits or, working on demand, do you find it that stuff happens more to skeptics?
Yes.
Oh, you're not Aaron.
Wow.
Wow, Aaron threw his voice. Did you see that? We have that on video.
It's a.
Aaron, you sound very feminine all of a sudden.
I'm sorry. Let me adjust real quick.
You may need a. Oh.
Sorry about that.
No, please.
So how do you feel about it, Aaron?
What was the question?
Does it happen more to skeptics?
I think they're more vocal about it. I think when it happens to a skeptic, they are now in complete fear because their mind is just melted. I was a weird version of a skeptic when I had my mind melted because I kind of had buy-in. I kind of was tiptoeing still. About 3 years when I started investigating is when I had my aha moment, and it melted my mind. It was like a Disney 3D projector in front of me that just was not within reality. I don't know. It was just so wicked. I mean, the cool thing was it was seen by 2 other people. Mass hallucination in the parapsychology world. So 3 people witnessed this.
Mass
hallucination.
Whatever
Most
you're
rarest
taking,
form.
whatever you're taking, please share.
Well, the minister was with us who didn't believe us. She must have been taking it too. But yeah, she.
What was your second question, Michelle?
Second question, Aaron, do you believe in either vortex or portals?
I believe it's tomato when you kind of say a lot of stuff. I call it the vacuum. It's quantum vacuum. That's actually an official term. It uses the same functionalities, and we're talking super fast waves, particles. I use this example frequently. When you have the match, where you light the match and you blow it out, where the energy get transferred to the quantum experts in the field all agree it's called the vacuum, quantum vacuum. Super fast. It explains vortexes and kind of my brain, and I'm talking when I mean super fast. I'm talking instant teleportation. And funny thing is they've recently did first successful teleportation. I believe it was to electron teleportation. It wasn't a physical body. The thing I have with teleportation, because it's going to still even quantum too, guys. It terrifies me. Because you technically, for humans, example, it won't be our physical teleportation. It literally would be our soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, the essence, being sucked out into another vessel via robot or whatever other vessel has a brain that's not yours, so it's not going to be you in that teleportation twist.
So doesn't it technically break down your body
Well,
And
the
then
vacuum, yeah, but you subatomic particles, so yeah.
move it somewhere else, and then put it.
No, that's the movie part. Yeah.
Yes,
So
Michelle.
on that Star Trek version
Yeah.
there, also
I
one
like
other
Space
one.
Mode's version.
One we have a good shout out for Ghost Crier. Fred.
Fred!
I love him.
Burger Jr. He said that Ghost Crier is on the forefront of spirit communication. Aaron's and Nick's passion and hours of work help take this field to a new heights daily.
I love Fred. Thank you.
And on that note, a question that came up while we're talking about all this: do you believe in the stone tape theory?
A lot of people bring that up.
What is the stone tape?
Well, the stone tape theory, I think it's similar to, because I coined our own study called eco-terrestrial quantum mechanics, which is similar. Stone tape theory is basically just kind of multiple like dimensions in a sense, or layers. From what I understand right now, it's that just kind of connect and have this connectivity. And it sounds like a super plausible theory, but the thing, what I like about kind of what I'm building up with the eco-terrestrial quantum mechanics is that's from scratch. So I'm not necessarily taking the other theories, that not saying that they're good or bad, but I'm trying to be as grounded and skeptical and building this up as I can. So again, I'm learning on the way, and I'm running into awesome people who know this, and behind the computer over there, Jake, who understand a lot of stuff, or at least who's open to challenge it more with me. I spoke with a professor of quantum mechanics to know I'm not completely off my rocker and off the wrong zone. So with that theory is fine, but I think a lot of theories are built up on just sitting back in the chair and overthinking. The cool thing with me is I'm out there doing, so it's not only am I thinking, I'm getting some, and I do use a lot of the audio responses, multiple syllables, intelligent responses. I use that to reverse engineer and dissect a lot of that, and it makes sense with it makes sense with natural science, and that's what I try to do, reverse engineer to stuff that we know. So I like those theories, but at the same time, I don't see value in me kind of working with that, with what I'm doing, because again, everything that I have has backing. It does, and it doesn't go. It's fuzzy. I need to smooth it out, admittedly. There's a lot of things I still need to learn with it. I mean, it's afterlife. Everyone needs to learn it, but yeah. But
We're all learning every day.
Yeah.
I mean, well, with what we tried last night.
And
I never even heard of that. And now I can't stop thinking about it.
And I want to try it again. Yeah, I want to build up. Even Lisa talked about the same thing that you were talking about afterwards.
You're
on getting something
changing
stationary.
things and you're trying to seal it up even more.
Yeah.
But don't get inside of it.
It's like being in a bomb.
I think I found my younger brother from a different mother, because I have a tendency to put myself in situations, and these guys tell me not to all the time, and I still don't listen.
I got that from your stories earlier. Like, oh, it's so much alike.
We go back to the whole safety thing. I preach safety, but I don't follow it. Just kidding.
That's true.
But it's,
And I do too. I didn't think this was going to be as. And mind you, I was planning only 5 minutes. Ended up saying 7. 5 minutes probably good enough. But I woke up this morning, and I was like, why is my skin all dry and face all red? Because I was about to blow up, guys.
and you can message us, and we'll give you an idea of what, but I'm not going to give you the exact chemical, the makeup of what happened. It can be very dangerous. And what brings us back to the whole thing, the only thing stopping us from trying experiments is our own mind and safety.
Yeah.
Stay safe doing the experiments. Just.
And if something goes wrong, I told these guys I'll be their Slimer, and they're like, "Oh,
ectoplasmic mist."
Yeah. I also eat everything, just wreck things. No plasma everywhere.
So somebody was asking if that's what he turned into. Would he be visiting Drew a lot more?
Well,
That must have been Jamie that I said.
I think it's more of a combined consciousness, so technically I'll probably have it once. So I'm not. Physical body likes the ladies, but come to consciousness state, it might be all free for all.
This show just took a weird turn.
Yeah. When people are wanting to do any kind of an experiment or something that has to do with a lot of the paranormal, shouldn't they do a research
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
on it and everything.
And I did a lot.
too.
Yeah, I researched this for over a year. And this is my second actually attempt on it. First one was much smaller. Then I'm just like, I think I can put myself in here. So let's make it bigger. Yeah. So no one's actually done it in the level that I did it at.
So to give you guys an idea, it wasn't. We did video it, so I'm going to go back and watch the footage because I really want to know. And you videoed it also,
Yeah.
so I'm real curious to see.
I'm curious on what happens around almost more.
Yeah.
So
there's a whole lot more research I think needs to do it and to go. And then we admittedly between all of us found some flaws in the setup.
Yep.
And we talked about redoing and helping out. Yep, got it. Redoing the setup, making it a little bit more stable for one. I did like the fact that we were able to stabilize it enough not to have so many people in the room.
Yeah.
That
was good. That was good.
And my question would it have been better to do that in a more open area or try that in a more open area?
I think
More bigger open area.
I spoke with the owner and I said, I think we need a bigger because the idea is, and this is me, kind of speaking of the consciousness and inviting them in, is to have enough invite come in and then seal it up and see if that participant would actually be available. That was the idea. With it being so small, I felt like that would have been lost because, again, as we do what we do, I know I've ran to places that never have been investigated before. I know you guys, I'm sure you guys have. And for me, some of the responses via EVP or another device, spirit box, they're scared or they don't know what we're doing, what device, who we are, how we're speaking with them. Are we speaking with them? I have a nice butt. So all sorts of stuff that comes out of those things.
But some people, they'll go ahead and they'll go out and they buy the equipment and everything, and they don't do no research on it, and then they're like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? Like you were saying, they weren't working.
And I do a lot of the conventions, and I feel bad with some of my questions I ask, and I don't mean to be insulting sometimes. I really don't, but I ask some investigators there either come to the table or have their own table. Well, what to you? What's that device do? Just out of curiosity, and it's not. It's not that I'm trying to.
But that's a really good question.
I stumble a lot, and I don't know why I stumble.
You get a lot of people that buy a piece of equipment because
what's the natural purpose of that?
Yeah. How? And I'm just going to use the EMF detector.
Yeah, because that's
what was the EMF detector built for? I love asking people that question because they're going, it was made to find ghosts. No, it wasn't technically. No. And you can buy them on a much larger scale. I think I said.
Oh yeah.
There's one on Amazon for like $26,000 now.
We went to
it's huge, but it can.
I stopped at the $6,000.
I kept going. I want to see.
You're not buying that one.
No, there's some cool stuff. There's some cool stuff. He's like, looking, yeah.
No, let me check out the entire 7. Check out the entire 7 miles. Nothing. Okay, we're good.
Check out duck.
But there's so many little things out there that people don't understand. I think in order to have a piece of equipment, you have to understand the basic knowledge of what it was originally intended for first. If you understand that, then sometimes you can figure out, like you do, and like we do.
Anomalies within,
So if it's supposed to detect this, and I'm getting a completely different reading, what is that reading?
I don't trace the lines anymore. I used to do a full sweep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that anymore because I'm familiar with the behaviors enough. If something starts hitting, that's when I start sweeping around, or that's when I start reacting. Okay. The nice thing with the room that we were in yesterday, the chair room we called it, it didn't have a concrete bottom to it. So that's cool. That stops a lot of interference.
The one I couldn't understand, and we couldn't explain last night, not really.
The one in the basement?
No, the one on the main floor.
Yes.
I put the pyramid on the table, and it was freaking out.
Oh, when you first turned it on, it was.
I thought that was just a behavior, so I walked away.
No.
I walked away.
And then we moved it, and it was stopped.
Not normal at all.
And then you move to another area, and okay, bring the EMF detectors up. Bring this one.
They're probably all in your face when you put on. They're like, look, man, what's
And
and then
that's
poke at it from a distance, like.
And if you ever go on an event with us, you'll actually hear us say this all the time. What we're dealing with, if you think about it, the building has been around for How long is that building?
It was 1912 is when it was
Okay, built in 1912. The Earth's been around a lot longer than that. What's happened before then there? Going through there. And that's right next to the river, too.
Oh, well, mind you, there's a lot of mafia going on there, but that was the same time frame that kind of rose. However, a lot of Native American. I mean, we can go. I mean, there's so much in our area.
So a lot of times you're dealing with something that we look at every day: LED lights, switches, buttons, batteries. Think of it on the other side of the scale of the spirits or the entities that might be there are looking at it going, "The heck is this? And how does it make noises?" And don't want to. And a lot of times you'll hear us saying, "This is not. It's not going to hurt you. We're not here to harm you."
Yeah.
But that's always played a spot in my brain going, how do we know they're not going, when they're not going to touch it? And that's the reason they're stuck on it, because they're getting electrocuted.
You know, and it's funny because I think the same thing. And I sometimes I presented a question goes, it's not going to hurt you, or I don't think it's going to hurt you, or I go, if it hurts you, step back. That's a more common phrase. I go, if you feel any tingle and you're uncomfortable, step back, remove yourself.
Never mind.
You can stay there now. So.
I feel a little dirty over here. But it's and so you have to understand and look at things as in the opposite aspect of everything. What we find normal, they probably wouldn't find as normal.
Mm-hmm.
What we sometimes try to use as normal, people that we're with are going, what the hell are they doing? There is an object in this room, and it's right behind you. There's a cane sitting against the wall.
Made of candy?
No. There's objects that people bring. We've had people bring dolls and leave them in buildings
Yeah.
because they felt there was something wrong with the doll. So I'm not going to. Sorry, that doesn't make us comfortable. If you think there's something wrong with that doll or something wrong with this glass,
why do you have a knife?
It was called Chucky.
Oh,
But there's just be as open-minded as you possibly can when you go into these things, and try. Because how many times have you tried something that's failed?
oh my gosh!
Horribly.
And I joke because I did an experiment that had huge success, and I didn't expect anything to happen. And I'm videotaped, and you see me just leaning against the wall, ask an action, give a game or an action for the entity to do. It was a very complex one, so again, I just threw it out there, and all of a sudden it hit, and you saw my confusion going, did it just hit the meter?
Did you?
Yeah.
There's no way you can do that.
Just wait.
So and that kind of brings you. We have a lot of people ask that will say the same thing. Will say one thing to us, and it's a comment that drives me nuts. And I actually come back with a new comment. What do you say when somebody goes, "Prove to me spirits exist"?
Prove to me that they don't. No, I'm kidding.
That's exactly what I say.
I always go, what do I say? Prove to me. Oh, gosh, yeah, that does come up quite a bit. So I ask them, how much do they know about quantum physics or quantum mechanics? And that kind of stops it.
You might use that next
Well,
time.
I've got a different one that I use now.
Yeah.
People going, "Prove to me spirits don't exist." Prove it. Really? You go to church? And I stopped. No, I stopped that right there. No, well, yeah. You're telling me they don't exist. And I don't want to go into spiritual. I don't want to say, I hope everybody believes in whatever they believe in. It's just, I think is the spirit side of it, and the spirits or the ghosts or the entities or whatever, they got to be there. Something's there.
I think
Father, the
it's
Son, and the
Holy Spirit.
It's perfect.
Holy Ghost or Holy
The Holy
Spirit,
Spirit.
depends.
Yeah, it depends on.
It's in its
Yeah.
perception.
Still,
It's,
yeah.
I think a lot of us tomato, we're calling something, and it might be, like prayer, meditation, good vibes, good luck. It's all kind of the same deal. It's how you want to position.
Well, and if you look at it from what we do now compared to and how open it is, it's on every channel, on every TV channel. It's there's things always going on. Drop back 15 years and look at TV, or drop back 50 years. You didn't dare say a word of this stuff.
No.
Oh, it was taboo.
So it's come out. It's come out so far, and people are now having. We do a lot with people in private homes. We go help out people as much as we possibly can.
Just want to know they're not crazy.
Yeah, a lot of times that's.
Yeah,
but a lot of times you start debunking things for them, going, "Oh, that makes sense now." But then you got a lot of people who are going, there's something really, truly, honestly wrong. and they don't want to say anything because they don't want to look like they're nuts. They're crazy.
You know, funny thing, we did a house and right away, and these people are huge ghost hunting fans or ghost hunter fans, and they said that, you know, the little girl in their room, she has nightmares, she sees it out, the closet door opens, blah, blah. So, I mean, they're talking to the team, telling the story. I'm doing my scan, you know, on the tracing lines, and I get to the door and I hear that, you know, the door opens. So then first thing I do, step out and take the front door and I go, hooah, like that, you know, calls like a suction. The owner goes, it opens different. And all of a sudden you say it's silent, I'm like, all right. And then questions. And then I looked at the bed and I took an EMF detector because they're like, see, there's detection, you know, on the bed, like it's like a ghost bed or something. It had a wool blanket, what's an insulator of the radiation. Yeah. So the outlet was producing a god-awful amount of EMF radiation on this bed, coating this poor little girl, giving her headaches. And I'm like, get an electrician, fix that, and scoot the bed away. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no ghost, dude. You gotta protect your family first and foremost.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we want to thank you for being here with us tonight. And
Thanks
thank
for
you.
having me. This was
And-
fun.
Last question.
Okay, one more question.
One more question. Can we hear a little more information about the book again, and how can we get one?
Yep, I was just gonna do
Go
that.
for it, Kelly.
If anyone is wanting this book, it's $15. A book, or if you want it autographed, it's $20. All you have to do is go on Riverside, Iowa Paranormal on our page and messages
Messages
Messages will flow.
message us privately,
Messages.
and we will get the information to Aaron.
Yes. Yes.
This book right
And get the book. It's a great book.
Oh, it is a
It's
great
an
book.
awesome
Oh, it's
book.
just
It's fun. You know,
It
it's just
is.
an idea that I had a nice flow to it.
And if you go on Amazon and look out there, look for a child's book written by a paranormal investigator. You will not find one.
nope.
It's the one and only. It's the
For
original.
children.
The children's book.
Children's
book,
It's the original.
Yeah.
He is
Yes.
he's
OG.
groundbreaker. He's the OG.
Oh
in
my
it.
God. As a first investigator, a paranormal developer, what do you want to call it, on Patreon from effect. People started popping up after mine. So I stayed at $2 for a year for no reason.
So again, let's remind everybody about the October event coming up. It's going to be Ghost Crier and Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. We're going to be there.
We're going to have a couple other awesome people. But
Yeah, we're gonna have some more people there. You never know what you might have there, what you might get. It's
the bedroom's going to be the best, so you don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
yeah.
So great time.
Yeah.
Through.
It's $15, right?
Yeah. Yep. $15.
$15. 100% of the proceeds from that $15 from that event
100%.
goes to the owner of the building to help the upkeep and keep things going, so we can keep doing what we do.
Yeah.
We're not making a dime off this thing. We just want to see your smiling faces and $15 to spend an evening
That's cheap.
in a building
Yes,
and have some
it
fun.
is.
And spend a
And
little
they'll be
time.
able to see Drew's smiley face too.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
Oh, yeah.
Drew might smile a little bit more than normal. So check it out. We'll, again, once we have the links, once we have the advertisement link, we're gonna throw it all over Facebook. We're gonna get it out there as many places as we can. You've got your other event coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In California.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
seriously, check that out if you guys are on that coast.
Yeah, head up to the West
I
Coast.
don't know anyone there, so.
Yeah. Hey, if anybody wants to know him, go to the West Coast. Get out to the
Yeah.
mine, see him
There we
out
go.
there.
Yell in.
Aaron,
What?
Actually, you'll probably go, Aaron, ah, what?
Yeah, you can hear that.
Son of a.
Said my name.
Say my name. Oh,
Say my name. Say my name.
Oh, I have to pay for that one now. Thank you guys, everybody out there on Facebook, for being with us. We have
Yes.
plenty of comments and
Thank
stuff
you.
going out there. You guys check out Aaron's. You guys have a Facebook page?
Heck yeah, we do.
Well,
Ghostcrier.com, guys. Everything Ghost
Awesome.
Crier. It's all right there. Our Amazon, our Vidi, our Facebook, our Twitter. We tweet like the best. And our Instagram.
awesome.
he's an overachiever.
Yeah. That's Snapchat.
Yeah.
You get Nick pics all day long.
N-I-C.
Yeah. What you got? Be classy, guys. He's another best.
thank you guys out for yeah, that sort of messed me up. Thank you everybody for again. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys.
Seriously.
We want to see you guys back here again next Saturday, but we won't be here.
No.
Hi, sorry, little thought. We have a birthday party to go to, and it's a very special, someone very special, close to all of us. So we will not have a show next week. We're going to take a little bit of a break. The week after that, we will be live from the Farrar School here in Iowa, and the week after that is actually wait, which one do we do? Which one, Michelle? Which one is when we're interviewing, and which one is when we're doing?
Next weekend, we're actually going to be with another published author, Alan.
That's in 2 weeks.
That's in 2 weeks.
That's in 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Yep.
2 weeks.
Okay.
from
So in
today.
2
Yeah.
weeks, we're going to be up there, and we're literally just going to be, we'll be with Alan. He's been on the show. He's part of the Riverside, Iowa team for the Des Moines chapter of us. We're going to be going through the whole building. We're going to be doing some stuff on Friday, hopefully. But we will be live from Farrar on Saturday, and it's not really an interview or anything. We're just going to be going through the building. So you're going to be walking through Farrar with us.
That's kind of cool.
So
Yeah.
it's just going to be us in the building.
Yep.
Along with you guys. And then the week after that, we'll be back up at Farrar, and we'll be doing interview up there. There's an event getting ready to happen up there at Farrar. We're going to interview the guys that are doing the event beforehand, and then I have no idea what's coming up after that. But that's our next few weeks.
Yep.
Again, we won't be here next weekend, but we hope you keep watching for us.
Yep.
Check out Nick's stuff over there.
And my stuff as well.
And Aaron's.
Nick and Aaron.
Don't worry. All I can think is Nick pick
You're
right
gonna
now. Check out Aaron, Ghost Crier. Thank you guys very much for being here. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
We can't do this without you. Send us any questions you have. Again, if you have any issues or anything out there that you might want our advice with or some help with, just ask. The only thing you don't know unless you ask.
That's true.
Guys, thank you very much for tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys in the dark.